The lights come up on a lonely stage. There's a man in a rumpled, quilted Patagonia vest. The breast is embroidered with a company logo, but we can't quite make it out. He carries 2 laptop bags, which are visibly heavy and weigh him down. His exhaustion is apparent. He lets out a deep sigh and says to no one in particular, "The man who makes an appearance in the business world, the man who creates personal interest, is the man who gets ahead. Be liked, and you will never want." It's the opening act, and he's Willy Loman in our new play, Death of a SaaS Man. He steps to the front of the page. "We've got these things, these AI agents, they call them, every single demo this year. I tell you, it's big. Agent Factory talk. We talk like they're the biggest thing since Dave Singelman used to sell marketing automation. They look you right in the eye. We got these magnificent stats. Resolve 66% of inquiries autonomously. Imagine that, Charlie, 66%. You don't even need a man on the road anymore. It's beautiful." But the lights start to fade. The customers aren't buying. 79% of enterprises have adopted AI agents. 11% have them in production. And the customer, they ain't buying. And scene. Welcome back to Rose Colored Glasses. I'm Robert Rose, creative marketing consultant and content strategist, and this is part 3 of the June Reckoning. And this week, I'm taking you to the theater. Episode 1 was the diagnosis. The AI plan you launched in January, it's not delivering. You know it's not. Everybody knows it's not, but nobody wants to say the quiet part out loud. Episode 2 last week was the audit that you should be running on your own team. It's the content strategy challenge that we've always had, but now we can wrap in the wrapper of an AI audit. This week, we look at the audit you might run on the people on the other side of the table, the MarTech vendors, and I'm calling it Death of the SaaS Man. Yeah, apologies to Arthur Miller. He saw all this coming. So quick cast notes before we go any further, playing the role of Willy Loman, your friendly neighborhood MarTech vendor. Pitching agent factories door to door, be liked and you will never want, they say. Playing the role of Linda Loman, the CMO who is feeling the pressure and yet still keeps defending the efficiency-driven AI initiative to the board, to the people, to the employees, to everyone. Linda, by the way, is the one who says attention must be paid. She's also the one who knows. Playing the role of Biff, the son who finally figures out his father has been telling himself stories his whole life. Yeah, that's you. The content and marketing practitioner in the room, the one who has quietly been smashing the easy apply buttons on LinkedIn since March. And playing the role of Howard, the boss who fires Willie in the second act, your CFO. Howard is unsentimental. Howard has bills to pay. And then finally playing the role of Ben, Willie's brother, who walked into the jungle at 17 and walked out rich at 21. Every AI native startup that just pivoted into MarTech with 3 engineers and a Claude API key. Ben got rich. Willie did not. Ben is in the corner of the funeral eating shrimp. Got it? All right, good. Let's raise the curtain. So before we get to the scenes, let's set the background. So in February of this year, Salesforce released their State of Marketing 2026 report. Bobby Jania, the CMO of Salesforce Agentforce Marketing Division, walked into the chat for the official press release and on the record, in quotation marks, attributed to him, said something, well, that should have changed every AI marketing pitch on planet Earth. He said marketers are, quote, using the most powerful technology in history to send more one-way spam faster. Bobby, we know. We bought the tools that have been sold to us. We made the spam faster. Thank you for that receipt. But in that same press release, paragraphs later, same document, Salesforce pitches Agentforce as the solution to the problem the same press release just diagnosed as the problem. They sold us the spam machine. The spam machine ran great. They wrote a report on how much spam it produced, and then they sold us, guess what? Yes, the next spam machine. In enterprise software, this script has a name. We call it Kabuki Theater, right? The vendor inflates the proposal by 20%. Procurement beats them down by 15%. Both sides, yay, celebrate a brilliant negotiation that was basically just 2 adults consenting to basic math. Now, the MarTech AI version of the Kabuki Theater right now is the Agent Factory pitch. Willie is the lead, Biff is in the audience, and both of them know exactly how this script ends. Let me show you. So the lights come up on a trade show floor, booths everywhere. The biggest one is Willie's. The logo on his vest is more visible now. It's got 4-letter MarTech company, could be any of them. Young CMO walks by. Willie steps forward. Hey there, let me tell you about the Agent Factory. CMO slows down. Willie presses. You see, 20 years ago, we sold software, subscription seats. You buy 500 seats, you pay the subscription. You get the software. Simple, beautiful. The way David Singelman would have wanted it. But the world has changed. The CFO doesn't want to hear about seats no more. CFOs want outcomes. CFO wants to do more with less. And listen, I'm not a fool. I know what less means. I know less means me. So I went back to the engineers. I said, fellas, seats are dead. We need agents, agentic, agent factory. We're going to put an agent on every desktop in America. My agents resolve 66% of inquiries autonomously, 66% without a man on the road. It's beautiful. The CMO pauses and goes, how many are in production? And Willie pauses and says, well, look, let me tell you about that. Most of them ain't quite in production yet, but the demo, it's gorgeous. And see, in this business, the demo, that's what gets you in the door. Get you in the door, make the sale, you do the deal, you be liked, you be remembered. That's the secret. And the CMO walks away. Willie adjusts his vest, his Patagonia vest. He picks up his bag, and he moves on to the next booth. And scene. Now, what Willie didn't mention to the young CMO is that he's not entirely making this up. He's in a real corner. He's in a bind. The annual MarTech landscape dropped in May. Nearly 1,500 tools were added in 2026. More than 1,300 disappeared. The author of the article that talked about the MarTech report, well, they called it the Darwin phase. In other words, translation, the jungle Ben walked out of his back. Most of the Willies aren't really walking out of this rich. If you're running a SaaS marketing tool right now, your core features, you're getting absorbed into platform native AI capabilities. Your customers want those outcomes. They're not looking to buy subscription seats anymore. Your CFO buyer still wants to do more with less, and your engineers can't actually deliver autonomous agents at the scale your sales team is busy selling. So you do what Willie did. You rebrand existing features as agents. You pitch the factory. You add $50 to $125 per user per month to an already premium price, and eventually maybe you blink. In April, HubSpot blinked. They announced outcome-based pricing for 2 of their Breeze AI agents. Customer agent moves to 50% per resolved conversation. Prospecting agent moves to $1 per qualified lead. The quote from John Dick, HubSpot's chief customer officer, businesses are being asked to make big bets on AI right now, and too often that means paying for potential rather than performance. Outcome-based pricing removes that risk. Translation, customers stop being liked into a subscription. Willie can no longer just be liked. Willie has to deliver 2 things, right? 2 things now. Now, Act 1, Scene 2. Here's Biff at his desk. The lights come up on Biff, marketing manager, mid-30s, 3 monitors. Middle one is LinkedIn. He's hovering over the easy apply button. Biff has been at the company for 3 years, and he believed the AI transformation pitch in December. He believed it really hard. He approved the agent factory contract from Willie in February. He told his team they were all going to do more with less. He believed in the dream the way Willie taught his sons. But then the data came in. 79% of enterprises have adopted AI agents. Only 11% run them in production. 90% of marketing orgs use AI agents in some capacity. Only 23% are in full production. That's a 67-point gap between we said yes to the demo and we got the thing working. Gartner now forecasts that 40% of agentic AI projects will be canceled by the end of 2027. Howard, the CFO, he's sharpening his pencil. Biff looks at his own QBR slides and basically, the one that says AI transformation on track. He knows it's not. So he starts an email to Howard just to tell him the truth. But then he stops. Because why? Telling Howard the truth means telling Howard that the December decision on the AI transformation project was the wrong decision. Howard has bills to pay. Howard cancels the things that don't work. And then Howard fires Linda. And then Howard fires Biff. Biff closes the email, opens LinkedIn instead, hovers over the easy apply button again, and scene. It's a weird script. Both sides are performing. Willie can't actually sell what's true. The fundamental role of his user base is changing. The future of marketing work may not include his software in its current form. To pitch that honestly, Willie would have to say, buy our software to get you to a future where you don't need our software. That pitch won't survive the board meeting. Willie's whole revenue model depends on the customer continuing to need him the way that they need him today. And Biff can't say what's true either. If everybody in the room got honest, most of the tasks AI is being asked to do shouldn't even exist at all, much less be automated by AI. They should have been delegated, automated, or killed years ago. The honest question is the one that nobody is asking. Should these tasks even exist? Just because there are humans doing them doesn't mean they're worth doing, but that admission puts Biff's whole role on the table. The promises about career path, about what marketing is, about the future of function, all of it gets questioned. That's the theater. Nobody's the villain. Willie's not the villain. Biff is not the villain. Linda's definitely not the villain. Everybody's locked into the roles that they're playing, and the conditions of 2026 are paying them to play, which is why naming this problem matters. The first time you see the script as a script, we can start to choose whether we're going to keep performing it or not. Imagine for a moment that Willie and Biff actually break the script. The lights come back up on the trade show floor. Same booth, same Patagonia vest, because that's not changing. A little more faded now maybe, but the same young CMO walks by. Willie looks up. Something different in his eye this time. Hey, got a minute? Different pitch in his time, right? He steps forward. No bravado, just clarity. Look, we're not AI experts. We're industry experts. We're vertical experts. We're topic experts. I've been selling into your particular space for 15 years. I know your CFO. I know your buyer. I know your renewal cycle. I'm not going to promise you 40% headcount reduction. Anybody who promises you that is selling you Dave Singleman fantasies. I'm going to promise you 40% sharper thinking. I'm going to tell you which use cases on your team you're going to deepen, which budget I think you should reallocate, which outcome you should measure together. And if I don't deliver, you walk. No contract, no subscription seat, no agent factory. We charge by outcome or we don't charge. Tell me, what do you want to do? The CMO stops and listens. The light softens a bit. Willie's being seen for the first time. Cut to Biff at his desk. The third monitor still has LinkedIn open, but Easy Apply is closed. Biff opens a new email to Howard. Howard, he writes, I want to propose something different for the second half of this year. I'm not going to buy any more AI agents. I'm going to reorient our content strategy to leverage the value AI actually creates, independent of which tool we use. Here are 3 use cases where AI does deeper work for our team, slows us down. Here's the budget I'm reallocating to fund that work. Here's what I'm doing to stop doing, basically to just free that budget up. And here's how we're going to measure success. We're going to measure trust. We're going to measure depth. We're going to measure the work that compounds across quarters instead of the work that dies in a single quarter. This isn't the December plan. The December plan was wrong. I want to bring you the right one before the end of this year lands. And he hits send and scene. Then the final tableau. The lights come up on a funeral. Linda, Charlie, a few mourners. Ben is in the corner eating shrimp. Some Willies break the act in Act 2, some don't. The Willies who don't end up here, their software got absorbed, their stack got commoditized, their renewal conversation stopped having. They sold the agent factory pitch all the way to the end, convinced that they were right while the world quietly stopped buying. Some Biffs, well, they break the act too. Some don't. The Biffs who don't eventually stop emailing Howard. Their team gets cut. Their AI transformation slide deck gets presented one more time with less and less and less energy until somebody else's slide deck ultimately replaces it. They end up at his funeral too, just standing on the other side of the parking lot. You don't have to be in this scene. You can name the dream and the dream itself right now in the middle of Act 2 while everybody else is still performing the same script. Next week, we're going to talk about that pivot, the specific moves that you need to make before the end of next year. And once you've named the theater, you can start to operate outside of it. This is the kind of work I'm doing right now with my clients in my consulting practice, helping leadership teams break the script and reset the conversation with their CFO and the board around what that AI transformation project really looks like in marketing and content. And if your team is staring down the H2 pivot and you want some help, I'd love to talk. Full article version of this is linked in the description. We call it Death of a SaaS Man. Apologies one more time to Mr. Miller. But for now, the pushback is real. The window is open. The theater playing out between MarTech, AI, and marketing teams only continues as long as the audience claps in the right places. So don't. And scene. It's your story. Tell it well. I'll see you.